What are your rituals? You said every day you write for a set amount of time. I was about to point and instead
It's right there.
You write for a set amount of time. What is your ritual? Do you wake up and immediately you say 2 hours or something, and then that's your writing for the day and you don't think about it the rest of the day? Or what is your sort of ritual around your daily writing?
Yeah, if I'm doing like blue sky stuff and I'm just starting out on a project, like I will just like wake up, make a cup of coffee and just dive into it because I don't even want to be awake enough to like let my editor kick in. I just want whatever like the crazy first thought is to just kind of like work itself out. If I'm more in like a rewriting phase or more in the like, no, this is like the actual draft, I have to sit down and write and show people, or I have to do like an outline that's very structured, like I'll give myself more of a time to like come online and then, I'll show up a little bit later in the morning, work for like a couple hours, take a lunch, work for a couple hours more. And then I'm a type of person that stops before I think I should because I want to have something that will make me show up the next day that I can kind of be thinking about in the back of my head. So I'll always leave like a scene half done, or like if I'm outlining, like I won't like get all the way to like the ending on it. I'll just leave a little bit undone and then finish it the next day.
So is that so your mind sort of works with it for another 24 hours or whatever?
Yeah, so I can just kind of like sit with it because I think like a huge part of writing that we don't really acknowledge or talk about that much is a lot of it does happen in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And you kind of got to let it marinate until it can come forward.
Yeah.
Because usually your first idea is not your best idea. It's always your second or third. And you need to just like give your brain a chance to kind of like think about it in the background before the better idea can come up.
Right. That's interesting. And do you write 7 days a week, 5 days a week? Do you try to make it like a regular 5-day job?
It depends on like what the deadlines are and things like that. But like to be sane, I try to give myself weekends and just like be a real human being. But sometimes, in this business, you can't.
Yeah.
So
do you have, I assume you have an office at home. Do you sort of just make that that's only space for writing so that you can sort of separate stuff?
Completely, yeah. I just have like a space and it just has like books everywhere and just like all kinds of like way too many toys for an adult female to have in it. And it's just, it's just like my fun space. And I can just close the door and not worry about it until I go back in it.
Yeah, I love that. Unfortunately, I work a day job. So like this is creative room and day job room. And it's kind of hard to separate the two. And I'm like, fuck. So I aspire to have just a fun room where I can just do fun stuff like that.
Well, I think you need more toys.
All right, they're in the other room, I think, sadly. This is a fake creative room. What do you think
that's my great professional advice. I'm like, toys.
Slinkies and Rubik's Cubes or what?
Exactly, yeah. Whatever works for you, man.
Do you bemoan writers that go to coffee shops and write, or do you do that?
No, I just think people just work differently. And I think some people like the distraction of a coffee shop, so they really have to focus.
Yeah.
I do a thing where I read all my dialogue out loud and kind of practice it as I'm going. So I would look like a crazy person in public, so I have to hide when I write. I also pace, so that would be...
Oh, sure.
Yeah, no, that's like high level, like crazy looking. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be, definitely.
Yeah.
In the movies, it looks, he's very thoughtful.
Oh, they're on it. No, you do that in public and people are like, call somebody needs meds.
What is your experience with calling yourself a writer? Like when people ask you what you do you say that with pride? Do you say that with trepidation? I ask because my guest last week, Carl Tart, I don't know if you know Carl, he's a big comedy guy. I asked him what he tells people he does, because he acts, he does comedy, he writes, he wrote for like Mad TV and stuff. And he's like, I don't like saying actor because everyone's like, oh, everybody's an actor, whatever. And he said, I like saying a writer because people tend to respect that a little bit more. Do you have that sort of same sense as he does about that?
I wish I did. No, I feel the same way about when I tell somebody I'm a writer. They're always just like, sure. You are. I'm like, no, really, I get paid.
So you do it with trepidation a little bit.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting that we aspire to do these things so much and then we are afraid to like just own it, kind of?
Yeah, because I don't think like you walk into a social situation, especially if you're in Los Angeles, and no one's going to be like, they're a professional. Like, no one knows.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the same time, like, we want to do this. You are doing this. I was just thinking, picturing you at a coffee shop, and I'm like, well, no, she's actually somebody that's been paid to write. She should be here writing at a coffee shop. Let her pace. You know what I mean? Let her talk out her life.
No, I shouldn't do that to people at a coffee shop. That ain't right.